The investigation is ongoing into a recent massive scrapyard fire in Camden that caused more than 100 people to evacuate and heavy smoke to travel as far as 15 miles away. The owner of the metal junkyard, EMR, said the fire was sparked by a lithium-ion battery, which are banned from the facility. But neighbors have long complained about the way EMR conducts business and other fires that have broken out over the years. The company planned a community meeting in Camden Wednesday night to answer questions from the public, but canceled it abruptly. Ted Goldberg spoke with affected residents who say EMR has escaped any real consequences simply because of where it operates.
Let's be honest and frank and real blunt. It's horrible. It's a nightmare. Can you imagine?
Aaliyah Jones lives less than a mile from the EMR scrapyard in Camden, close enough to smell it.
This is for the smell of the trash in EMR.
She had a pretty close view of the 4-alarm fire that broke out there a few weeks ago. Jones was scared, but not shocked.
It's a horrid feeling to know not if it happens again, but when. It's made my asthma 10 times worse. I actually been put out of work since the fire. I've been dealing with anxiety, indoor depression.
Those issues have kept Jones out of work, but today's her first day back. She says in the future, EMR should do a better job of notifying residents when problems arise at the scrapyard.
Call it what it is, sound no alarm. We hear the crashing of the cars and the crushing of the cars and things like that. We hear that. Make it a friendly sound or a warning sound that, hey, something's on fire or some smell is leaking out that's hazardous. Stay in or relocate.
It's just sadly become status quo here, and it's unacceptable.
Ben Sirocco lives 2 or 3 miles from the scrapyard, but he can smell it on windy days. The scrapyard has a polarizing reputation in Camden. EMR employs more than 100 locals, but their scrapyard also caught fire in 2022, and the previous owner was fined about $24,000 for various violations in 2007.
I will admit they do employ a sizable amount of city residents, which is a good thing. But I think that the city needs to do a little bit better job of not just looking out for economic interests of the city, but really looking out for the environmental justice issues.
While they want to say that they're a good community neighbor, on one hand, behind the scenes, we know that they're working as a very well-resourced company to try to avoid any further regulations on their operation.
John Compton leads the Center for Environmental Transformation in Camden, which threatened to sue EMR 3 years ago for problems with the scrapyard. He remembers that fire from February 21st.
It was a scary, raging inferno, and didn't feel safe, and I was worried about the fire spreading.
EMR and officials have blamed the most recent fire on a lithium-ion battery that should have never been there. Firefighters needed about 18 hours to put out the flames, and a battalion observed that heavy fires spread caused by EMR employees moving burning material to the surrounding pile and onto an industrial conveyor belt leading to a building. Their actions caused the 4-story building to be fully engulfed in flames.
Camden is one of those locations where companies like EMR can locate and operate in a way that would not be allowed in other more affluent areas. Scrapyards are not the same as a recycler that takes separated recycling components and just passes them on. They're dealing with a variety of substances that they stockpile in large amounts on their property, creating fire hazards.
The initial fire report doesn't say what caused the fire, but it doesn't mention lithium-ion batteries either. A new ordinance in Camden would penalize anybody knowingly sending batteries to the scrapyard.
It really puts the onus on individuals and the producers of these goods from preventing these types of batteries to get into the waste stream. And to me, that's unacceptable. This is really just EMR, in my opinion, trying to shirk responsibility and liability by putting it on this boogeyman of something they can't control, this hidden battery that is just, they can't do anything about it. They can't increase their fire suppression systems. They can't increase training for staff.
EMR did not comment on the story, and neither did officials for Camden City or County. In Camden, I'm Ted Goldberg, NJ Spotlight News.